Hello, welcome to my channel. Today, I will be talking about the scandals and criminal connections of 80s sitcom stars. If you're interested in more content about Hollywood's darker side, don't forget to watch the video till the end. Let's get started. Gary Coleman, Different Strokes. Gary Coleman rose to fame in the 1980s, playing the role of Arnold Jackson on the sitcom Different Strokes. He became one of the most iconic child stars of the era, thanks to his witty lines and his memorable catchphrase, "What you talking about, Willis?" However, his life after the show took a tragic turn, as he faced numerous personal struggles and financial issues. Despite his fame, Coleman's life was marred by controversy and difficulties, particularly when it came to managing his wealth. In 1989, he found himself involved in a serious incident when an argument with a former roommate led to him shooting the roommate in what was described as a dispute gone wrong. The altercation occurred during a heated argument in which the roommate was injured by gunfire. Coleman maintained that the shooting was accidental and that it was not a malicious act. As a result, the case did not result in criminal charges and he was not found guilty of any wrongdoing. However, the event added to the growing list of personal problems Coleman faced, overshadowing his early career. His struggles continued throughout his adult life, and despite his earlier success, he was unable to maintain the same level of fame or fortune, with his personal life and career never quite recovering from the fallout. Todd Bridges, Different Strokes. Todd Bridges, known for his portrayal of Willis Jackson on Different Strokes, had a turbulent life both during and after the show's success. The 1980s and 1990s saw Bridges battling with drug addiction and facing several legal issues. He was a child star who found himself spiraling into the world of substance abuse, which ultimately affected his career and reputation. Bridges' problems were magnified by his association with a high-profile drug case in 1989. During that year, he was arrested after being involved in a drug-related incident in Los Angeles, where a murder took place during a drug operation he witnessed. Bridges was arrested for his connection to the crime, but after a lengthy legal battle, he was ultimately acquitted of all charges. Despite this, the events left a permanent mark on his public image, as he became associated with the darker side of Hollywood's child star phenomenon. Todd Bridges went on to have a somewhat quiet career post Different Strokes, and while he continued to work in the entertainment industry, he never fully escaped the shadow of his troubled past. His life became a cautionary tale about the pressures faced by child stars and the impact of substance abuse on their careers. Dana Plato, Different Strokes. Dana Plato, who portrayed Kimberly Drummond on Different Strokes, experienced a career that was as tragic as it was promising. At the height of her fame, she seemed poised to continue her acting career, but her life took a dramatic turn for the worse. Plato's struggles began in the 1980s when she became involved in the adult entertainment industry. In a controversial move, she posed for nude pictures in a men's magazine, which severely impacted her acting career. Not long after, Plato began struggling with drug addiction, which further derailed her personal and professional life. Her downward spiral was marked by several arrests and public incidents. The darkest moment came in 1991 when Plato tragically passed away. Her death was the result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound after a failed attempt to rob a house. She was only 34 years old at the time. Plato's tragic death highlighted the harsh realities of child stardom and the often unseen pressures that young actors face as they transition into adulthood. Her story remains one of the most heartbreaking in Hollywood history, reflecting the toll that fame and addiction can take on a person's life. Jaleel White, Family Matters. Jaleel White, who became a household name for his role as the nerdy yet lovable Steve Urkel on Family Matters, was one of the most successful young stars of the 1990s. His portrayal of Urkel was iconic, and the character became a cultural phenomenon, cementing White's place in TV history. However, despite his early success, White's life wasn't without its challenges. In 1993, at the height of his fame, White found himself in trouble with the law. He was involved in a controversial incident during a routine traffic stop in Los Angeles, where police reportedly found drugs in his car. White vehemently denied the accusations, claiming that he was being wrongly targeted and that the drugs were not his. Ultimately, the charges were dropped, and White was cleared of all accusations. While the incident did not lead to any legal consequences for White, it served as a reminder of the challenges that young stars face even when they are in the public eye. Despite this brief controversy, Jaleel White was able to maintain a steady career in Hollywood, though he never fully recaptured the level of fame he had enjoyed as Steve Urkel. Mark Paul Gosselaar, Saved by the Bell. Mark Paul Gosselaar became a teen idol in the 1990s for his role as Zach Morris on Saved by the Bell. His portrayal of the charming and mischievous high school student earned him a dedicated fan base and marked him as one of the most recognizable stars of the era. However, Gosselaar's life wasn't without its bumps along the way. In 1989, shortly after the success of Saved by the Bell, Gosselaar found himself entangled in a legal issue that could have derailed his career. He was arrested after a violent altercation occurred at a nightclub in Los Angeles, where he was accused of injuring a security guard. The altercation allegedly took place during a confrontation between Gosselaar's group and the club's security staff. Despite the serious nature of the incident, the case was eventually dropped, and Gosselaar was cleared of all charges. Although the incident never led to any criminal consequences, it did briefly affect his public image. Like many teen stars, Gosselaar was under intense scrutiny from the media, which often magnified any controversy. Despite this, he continued to build a successful career with notable roles in later TV shows and films. His early experience with controversy, however, serves as a reminder of the intense pressure that comes with growing up in the spotlight. Bill Cosby, The Cosby Show. Bill Cosby, who gained immense fame in the 1980s for his role on The Cosby Show, was once hailed as one of the most influential figures in American television. His groundbreaking portrayal of Dr. Cliff Huxtable on the sitcom, which ran from 1984 to 1992, made him a beloved figure in millions of households across America. Cosby's influence reached far beyond television. He was a stand-up comedian, an actor, and a philanthropist, often seen as a trailblazer for black entertainers in Hollywood. However, Cosby's legacy took a dark turn when in 2004 he was accused of drugging and sexually assaulting former basketball player Andrea Constand. After years of legal battles, Cosby was convicted in 2018 of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault against Constand. His conviction came after dozens of women came forward with similar allegations, further tarnishing his once sterling reputation. Cosby was sentenced to prison, and his fall from grace was widely covered in the media. However, in 2021, he was released from prison after his sentence was overturned on a legal technicality. The case against Cosby sparked a wider conversation about the abuse of power in the entertainment industry, and his conviction remains one of the most controversial moments in Hollywood history. Despite his release, the damage to his career and legacy is irreversible, as his actions continue to overshadow his achievements in television. Richard Belzer, Homicide, Life on the Street, Law and Order, Special Victims Unit. Richard Belzer was a comedian and actor who gained significant recognition for his roles in television crime dramas. After starting his career as a stand-up comedian in the 1970s, Belzer transitioned to acting, and by the 1980s, he had found success on the small screen. He is best known for his portrayal of Detective John Munch on Homicide, Life on the Street and Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, a role that spanned multiple decades and made him a familiar face to fans of police procedurals. Belzer's portrayal of Munch, a sardonic and cynical detective, was widely praised, and his character became iconic within the genre. Belzer's career wasn't without its ups and downs, but his ability to bring humor and depth to his roles made him a favorite among fans. Off-screen, Belzer was also known for his advocacy and outspoken views on various political and social issues. Tragically, Richard Belzer passed away on February 19, 2023, at the age of 78. His death marked the end of an era for fans of the Law and Order franchise and for those who admired his work in television. Belzer left behind a lasting legacy in the entertainment world, and his contributions to television will continue to be remembered by his fans and colleagues. Charlie Sheen, 2.5 Men. Charlie Sheen's rise to fame began in the 1980s, but it was his role on 2.5 Men that made him a household name in the 2000s. Sheen played Charlie Harper, a carefree bachelor with a sharp wit, and his comedic timing and charm helped make the show a massive success. By the time 2.5 Men reached its peak in the mid-2000s, Sheen was one of the highest-paid actors in television. However, his personal life was marred by a series of public scandals. Sheen's struggles with alcohol and drug addiction became increasingly apparent, and in 2011, after a highly publicized meltdown and erratic behavior, he was fired from the show. His departure led to a turbulent period in his life, with Sheen making headlines for his erratic interviews and behavior. Despite these challenges, Sheen remained a popular figure in the media, often drawing attention for his controversial statements. In the years since his departure from 2.5 Men, Sheen has continued to work in the entertainment industry, but his career has been overshadowed by his personal struggles. His fall from grace is a stark reminder of the pressures faced by actors in Hollywood, especially those who rise to fame at a young age. Lindsay Lohan, Parent Trap. Lindsay Lohan rose to fame at a young age with her starring role in The Parent Trap, a 1998 remake of the classic Disney film. Lohan's talent and charisma made her a beloved figure in Hollywood, and she quickly became one of the most sought-after young actresses of her generation. However, her career took a dark turn as she struggled with substance abuse and personal issues. Lohan's battle with alcohol and drug addiction became a major part of her public persona, with her legal troubles and stints in rehab making headlines throughout the 2000s. Despite her struggles, Lohan continued to work in the industry, but her once promising career was severely affected by her erratic behavior. She was arrested multiple times and faced numerous legal battles, making her a tabloid fixture. Her personal life became a cautionary tale about the dangers of fame at a young age. While Lohan's career has experienced periods of revival, her time in the spotlight has been marked by tumult and controversy. Today, Lohan remains an enigmatic figure in Hollywood, known as much for her troubled past as for her early success in film. Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone. Macaulay Culkin became a global star with his role as Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, a film that became a holiday classic. At just 10 years old, Culkin's performance was widely praised, and he quickly became one of the most famous child actors of the early 1990s. However, his life after Home Alone was marked by personal struggles and a departure from the public eye. Culkin's issues came to the forefront in 2004 when he was arrested in Oklahoma for possession of marijuana and 2 controlled substances. Despite his arrest, Culkin maintained that he was not involved in any illegal activities, and he was eventually cleared of all charges. While Culkin faced significant public scrutiny, his career continued, albeit without the same level of success he had enjoyed as a child star. In the years that followed, Culkin largely stayed out of the limelight, focusing on his personal life and more independent film roles. While he never fully recaptured his former stardom, Culkin remains a beloved figure in pop culture, with many fans still fondly remembering his iconic role in Home Alone. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.